In the game of life, sometimes staying in your lane isn't the smartest move. Just as in any game, your character may need to change direction, adjust its strategy, or even become something entirely new to keep advancing toward its ultimate goals. This video is all about pivoting, making those sharp turns and unexpected moves that keep you aligned with your true purpose and help you level up in your game. Pivoting isn't about quitting or giving up. It's about recognizing when it's time for a change and taking bold steps to make it happen. Let's explore how you can pivot your character with intention, power, and pride, keeping your game moving forward. Pivots and swapping your character. What is pivoting? Pivoting is not a term you hear often because change is not promoted in our society. Sure, we all see the Instagram quotes and some of us read inspirational books. However, in general, we are conditioned to stay in our lanes, which essentially means keep doing what you're doing. Think about it. How many people do you know who have radically changed their lives, completely swapped their careers, gone back to school, or re-educated themselves midlife, moved across the globe? Not many, in consideration of the entire pool of people. This is why school leads to university, and university leads to a career in which you are intended, by traditional standards, to continue on until retirement. And this used to work. However, in our new world, things move fast. Industries are not just evolving. Entirely new ones are born, and others are dying off. Skills are becoming outdated, and many are beginning to be pulled in new directions of interest. The menu of opportunities available for what was once considered work has blossomed. Work can now look more like creating. But this is a new trend in society. There aren't a lot of manuals on how to swap your life, how to pivot. As Annie Duke says in her book, Quitting is associated with and connected to being a loser. Think about it. If we say, oh, you're a quitter, it is essentially the exact same as saying to someone, you're a loser. The word quitting has been linked to giving up. Deciding that you no longer wish to do something does not necessarily mean you are giving up. Yes, this is how it is framed and referenced in our society, as if changing means you're quitting. This is just another form of being boxed in life. In fact, changing lanes or shifting into a new direction could be the smartest move in your game. If you are asking yourself the question, is it time to quit? You are really asking yourself, is it time to pivot? Is it time to change lanes? Annie reframes how we should view grit, aka hustle. Hustle is great, and it helps us accomplish and stick to the hard things in life that are worthwhile. However, before implementing hustle in life, one first must be able to distinguish if what is being worked on is worthwhile at this point in time. It could have been at one point, but is it now? Hustle and grit of sticking with that which matters is amazing, but is it still worthwhile? Often in life, if we have the feeling it's time for a change, it's time for a change. Think about it. You don't get the feeling you should move if you love your house. You don't get the feeling of looking for a new partner when you love your current partner. If the feeling is there, it is a sign, and although you don't have to follow it, you must examine it and decide what you will do with it. If you don't, it will begin to haunt you. As soon as these feelings arise in life, deal with them immediately. And no, I'm not talking about the kind of thought you get when watching a cool reality show. For example, Selling Sunset. Oh, that could be cool instead. No, I mean the, I'm not doing what I'm meant to do in life, or I'm not happy with what I'm doing in life kind of thoughts. These types of thoughts are warning signs that should be listened to because they come up out of nowhere. They're feelings that often, once they start coming up more and more. When it comes to a question such as, should I pivot? These decisions should only be made after extreme thought. It's hard to level up because people and systems try to hold you back. However, your game and life become easier as soon as you level up. You can modify your roles and change your character entirely to help you level up in your game. Doing this helps you build a stronger game. You are in control. You have the power to make radical changes if you want to. Anything is possible. In basketball, when a player pivots, they look like they are headed in one direction. Then, they move their feet suddenly and point them in another direction. It's a surprise move. No one saw it coming. It allows them to make a move on their target, the hoop. What does it mean to pivot? Definition: pivot, verb, to change direction. In this gamification model of your life, a pivot involves your character making a similar directional change. Although this pivot may surprise those around you, it allows you to make better moves on your target, your bigger vision. I want you to win. For you to win, you need to become. This entire game has the underlying theme that you must become. Sometimes, becoming means letting go of who you were. It means making a pivot. Making a pivot is transformative. You can pivot in any area of your life. There are no limits to how you pivot or who you can become. You must simply think ahead about the resources that are required or changed during the pivot. Pivoting, proudly. Remember, your character is on two journeys, a spiritual and a physical one. Although your body and soul are constant, your character that carries you on these journeys can be changed. You may need to make major changes to your character to become aligned with who you are on the inside. This is nothing to be ashamed of. Having the courage to pivot is something that should inspire pride in you. It opens you up to experiencing new things, people, and places. It also allows you to gain strength in your game and access and pass new levels in your journey. Once you know the direction in which you want to take your character and decide your pivot, more opportunities designed to get you in even greater alignment with your soul show up. You go through a process when you consider a pivot. First, you'll crack the code and discover what's possible. This is part of what you are doing by taking this series. Second, you'll experiment with ideas while tweaking your vision. Finally, you'll pivot. You can go through these steps and pivot as many times as you need to on your way to becoming who you are meant to be and reaching your soul's purpose. Pivoting steps. Steps to a pivot are: decide, observe, experiment, preparation, tweak your plan, pivot. Pivoting considerations. Consider the following when you start thinking about large character pivots or swaps. Try on the change. Try new experiences aligned with your possible lane change. Become part of a community that matches your pivot swap. Assessing feasibility. Assess your resources. Assess your budget. Assess your line based on your budget and resources available. Deciding. Unplug and disconnect from friends, family, and all vices while taking time to make the final decision. You must decide this for yourself, for it is your life you are placing as a bet when you pivot. No one will live with the decision, success, or, heaven forbid, consequences except for you. Execution. Hold your head high and pivot proudly. Take ownership of your change. Your support players in your game will be more confident in your pivot if you are. Swapping your character. You have zero obligation to be who you were yesterday. At any point, and as many times as you want to, you can pivot and even swap your character entirely. If you've created the wrong avatar for yourself, you don't need to feel stuck in your character. Your current character doesn't have to be permanent. You can choose again. You can begin your soul journey in a new character. In volume. Every word and volume vision to reality. I'll teach you how to choose again and build your new character from scratch as you design your dream life. You don't need to worry or get upset. Just decide you no longer need to hold on to your current version of your character and make a change. You can fully change your character. Maybe you've heard this quote before: if you're not changing it, you're choosing it. It's the truth. Here in School of Soul, you'll learn to choose change. Once you're clear on who you want to be, you can start swapping your character. A character pivot is slightly less extreme than a swap. When pivoting, you may change a few aspects of your character. For example, although you may let go of some connections to your character, some aspects of your character remain the same. Pivots are more common than a complete swap. A full character swap involves fully changing everything, all your roles and resources. It involves swapping out everything and starting over, planning a new game with an entirely new character. A complete character swap involves releasing almost everything attached to your previous character. You can make this swap as extreme as you want, including everything from your car and house to your wardrobe and neighborhood. Your identity changes completely. A clean swap involves changing everything, so you are drawing from an entirely new card deck. You'll still be living in the same body, but you'll be a new character. Obviously, this level of change is the most difficult to accomplish, and it is possible. How and when to pivot or swap characters. Pivots and character swaps are delicate moves. These moves can be game-changing and require strategy and preparation. They are decisive moves. If you sell your house, it is sold. If you quit your job, it is gone. If you are worried about how others will react when you face a big move like this, ask yourself, would I rather let them down or let myself down? If you hold an attachment to what others think, you are giving them power to hold you back. You know what is right for you in your journey. No one else should hold power over your moves in your game. Remember, this is your life. If you do decide a pivot or swap is right for you, plan ahead. If the change involves changing careers or leaving your job, it impacts your money resources. For this reason, it is wise to prepare and plan. Have plans and strategies in place. Don't make big decisions on a whim without any structure or support in place. When making moves, use strategies in all aspects of your game. This ensures you're prepared and end up where you want to go. Remember, in the game of life, pivoting is a powerful move that keeps your character aligned with its highest potential. Whether it's a small change in direction or a complete character swap, these shifts are opportunities to grow, adapt, and become more of who you are meant to be. Embrace the moments that call for change, and don't be afraid to pivot proudly. Your game is yours to play, and you have the power to redefine it whenever you choose. Keep your focus on your journey. Stay committed to becoming the best version of your character, and know that every pivot is a step closer to achieving your soul's purpose. The game is always evolving, and so should you. Level complete. You have just leveled up. Continue to the next lesson.